Carnality and the Christ life. Carnality is often a misunderstood thing. Some think it is living a very sinful life. Some think it is a believer living a very worldly life. Some do not think about it at all and feel it is all right to live any way they want. All of these things probably give some definition to what carnality is. However, the Apostle Paul goes into the subject very strongly in 1 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 1 to 6 as he deals with the believers in Corinth who had problems with carnality. Verse 1 says that Paul could not speak to them about the gospel Christ had given him because they were so carnal. They were babes in Christ. They were in Christ, yet so carnal that the final gospel could not be preached to them. It is the same today in modern religion. Verse 2 shows how believers are treated who do not go with the in Christ message. They are fed an erroneous gospel, mostly the kingdom message of doing something themselves to feel godly. You can live a lifetime in a church building and never get a solid meat message. All you get is milk. It is the gospel you hear that makes a difference in how you grow spiritually. There is a little or no spiritual growth in most new creation believers today. Verse 3 says that even after Paul had preached milk message to them, they were still carnal. There was envying, strife, and divisions among them. This was because their entire mission focused on the works they did. They obviously argued over every detail of where the money was spent, who was in charge, and did it fit their purpose. Vain arguments that still rage in religious circles today. Finally, Paul told them that they are no different from the unconverted. Verse 4 shows what happens when carnality sets in. Divisions come among the believer. This is how denominations come about. It is so sad that we have seen many splits and schisms among God's people. Every split comes over some carnal issue. When people are not given to Paul's message, they go and find some other message that fits their particular attitude. So now in religion, there are hundreds of different voices, all with different message, trying to do the same thing that the others are doing but in their own way. Think of how the Christ who lives in them must feel. Verse 5 speaks of Paul's attitude concerning the issue of carnality. He says that regardless of the denomination of a believer is in and whatever message is preached, it should come from Christ. If all the preachers were men of God, they would be sharing one message with all men. You see, the Lord only has one message. Verse 6 spells out God's plan for spiritual growth. When the true gospel is preached, all the preachers may be different in the presentation of their message, but the end result would be that Christ gives the increase as the true word is or was preached. Today, very few preach Paul's gospel, so there are very few believers who hear and receive the knowledge of what God is doing today. To God be the glory. God bless you.